The next speaker is Alfred Samuel. Alfred's worked in the entertainment industry for 28 years for stars as Bob Dylan, Harrison Ford, Sade, Seal, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Mariah Carey, Oasis, and so much more. He is coming to talk to us today about, he's talking to us about dealing with prostate cancer and giving us some health tips. He was diagnosed in 2012 with advanced prostate cancer. Alfred went through an exhausting 3-year intrusion of his mind, body, and soul, and he's coming to share with us now. Alfred, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, and good afternoon to everybody, or good morning to some people. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate being here today. I am a patient advocate and an author.
You have 20 minutes.
I'm here this afternoon to talk to you about prostate cancer, a disease that disproportionately affects Black men. What I'd like to say from the beginning, though, is that I'm not a health professional, nor am I an expert patient. However, I do see myself as quite knowledgeable on this subject, as will be made clear as we progress. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men in the UK. It accounts for nearly a quarter of all male cancer diagnoses. Current UK statistics suggest that 1 in 13 Asian men, 1 in 8 Caucasian men, and 1 in 4 Black men will get prostate cancer at some stage in their life. Unfortunately, I am one of those 1 in 4 Black men. 9 years ago, a diagnosis of advanced metastatic prostate cancer, stage 4, was handed down to me unexpectedly, untimely, and unwantedly. Allow me to step back a bit. The year is 2011. The month is August. I was jogging in an attempt to stay fit, especially with the hectic lifestyle that I was leading at the time. Whilst jogging, I felt a sharp, acute pain in my mid to lower back, which caused me to wince and stop running. I thought, maybe I've overtrained, and I eased up for a few days from training. 2 weeks later, in the early hours of the morning, the most excruciating pain overtook my back and my right leg. I immediately attended my local A&E, where for 4 hours, I was given painkillers of varying kinds in a bid to quell my pain. It was suggested that I may have sciatica, and I was told to ask my doctor to refer me for an MRI scan. For a few months, I was messed around by my doctor in getting that MRI referral letter before, in January 2012, attending a hospital for the scan. Then 2 weeks later, wham, my whole life changed when my doctor uttered those awful, terrifying words. Unfortunately, you have cancer. The impact was worsened by the fact that he had tears in his eyes as he said it. Upon attending the oncology clinic, my presenting PSA was measured at 509.
Wow.
Instead of between 2 to 4. I repeat, 509 instead of between 2 to 4 for somebody with my age at the time, which was 54. Given the advanced stage of my disease, there were few treatment options available to me. Fortunately, in March 2012, I was enrolled onto the Stampede drug clinical trial program, comprising of the drug abiraterone, along with the hormone injection Prostate. It is believed that by now, my PSA had risen to over 800. And obviously this was prior to the medication of abiraterone and the hormone injection settling in. Shortly after I started the medication, I saw a reduction in my PSA test results. And over a 6-month period, my PSA reduced gradually to under 0.1, where it remains to date. Prior to my diagnosis, I had not seen my doctor in probably 5 years. And even then, it was for something minor. For over 30 years, I was engaged in the security industry, traveling extensively across the world, engaging my capacity as a security consultant. And you've heard the list of people that I worked with. My security consulting experience also saw me working alongside corporate organizations and foreign government departments. With such a hectic lifestyle, like many men, I fell foul of not looking after my health. I was so busy making a living, I forgot how to live. My diet was wrong. My sleeping pattern was irregular. My overall outlook on health was one of a casual approach. Going to the doctor was not something I did. Man up to my ailment, it will go away with my thoughts. I'm strong, I'll get through it, was another. A woman now, she will go to the doctor at the sign of early symptoms of something, where us men won't. And usually we wait until what we are suffering with becomes far worse than what it was originally. My whole world crumbled around me as if a tsunami had struck. And with nowhere to go, I looked up to the one entity that most of us look to in the times of trouble. Yes, the Almighty. For the next year, I underwent an horrendous ordeal of chronic pain, financial toxicity, brain fog, hospitalization, and mental anguish, to mention but a few, as my body and mind reacted to the side effects of the medication that I was given to combat the disease. It is then I started the fight back from a place of a prognosis of 6 months. It is here I became the voice that echoes hope.
So this video is extremely important, and I need everybody to listen very carefully to the words that come out and just...
Okay. As I was saying, I became the voice of hope, motivation, and inspiration in the fight against the deadly disease of prostate cancer. As I said, it's a disease that disproportionately affects Black men. It's been a horrendous journey of varying proportions. I've had to manage so many changes in my life, as have my family. My physical, mental, emotional faculties have all been tested above and beyond, and in some cases changed. You see, Every day I wake up and think how lucky I am to be alive. Cancer has changed my life and made me appreciate the important things. It has elevated me above the material world and given me time. Cancer affects the areas that handle personality, emotions, problem solving, and definitely memory. Of course, every person is different and everyone will react differently. There isn't a right way to deal with cancer. Sadness, anger, hope, numbness, fear, determination, denial. The list of feelings you might experience along the journey is endless, and you have every right to feel them. I have felt that I have almost had to reinvent myself, and this reinvention has taken time and energy along the way. Now going slower is so much more beautiful. There's more time to appreciate everything and everyone around me. I crafted a vision of the life I wanted going forward. It has taken courage to reimagine joy in this new life of mine, but it works. One of those things was to be linked with saving the lives of 4 men, which sits so well with me mentally and emotionally. At the time of diagnosis, I had no idea where the prostate existed on the body. And I sat there mystified as to what my doctor was talking about. I certainly know now where it's located. The prostate is a small walnut-shaped gland in the pelvis of men and is a part of the male reproductive system. It is located just below the bladder and in front of the rectum. It surrounds the urethra, which is the tube that empties urine from the bladder. Prostate cancer is a form of cancer that develops in the prostate gland. Growths in the prostate can be benign, which is non-cancerous, or malignant, which is cancerous. Different people have different symptoms of prostate cancer. Some men do not have symptoms at all. However, if you have any of the following symptoms: difficulty starting urination, weak or interrupted flow of urine, frequent urination, especially at night, something that I seriously had, difficulty emptying the bladder completely, pain or burning sensation during urination, blood in the urine or semen, pain in the back, hips or pelvis that doesn't go away, and painful ejaculation. Be sure to see your doctor right away, is my advice. Keep in mind, though, that these symptoms may be caused by conditions other than prostate cancer. Risk factors, the factors that determine risk of developing clinical prostate cancer include increase in age, ethnic origin, and hereditary. Every Black man over the age of 45 is eligible to have the blood test called PSA. PSA means prostate specific antigen. The PSA test is a blood test that measures the amount of prostate specific antigen in a man's blood. PSA is a protein produced by normal cells in the prostate and also prostate cancer cells. It's normal to have small amounts of PSA in your blood, and the amount rises slightly as you get older and your prostate gets bigger. A raised PSA level may suggest you have a problem with your prostate, but not necessarily cancer, as I've stated before. Many doctors use a PSA cutoff point of 4 or thereabouts, or higher when deciding if a man might need further testing, while other doctors might recommend it starting at a lower level, such as 2.5 or 3. A low PSA is a sign of prostate health. A rapid rise in PSA may be a sign that something is wrong. Prostate cancer is the most serious cause of a high PSA result. You can have a PSA test at your GP surgery. You will need, though, to discuss it with your GP at first. At some GP surgeries, you can discuss the test with a practice nurse, and they can do a test if you decide you want one. Important note, it's important to understand also when not to undertake a PSA test. Having exercised vigorously 48 hours before, not ejaculated sexually 48 hours previously, had a prostate biopsy in the previous 6 weeks, or have an active urinary infection, as your PSA may remain raised for many weeks. There is also another common test known as the DRE. This is the one that a lot of men have a problem with, and it's called the digital rectum test. During this test, the doctor feels for any abnormal shape or thickness to the prostate by inserting a gloved finger in the rectum. DRE is safe and easy to conduct, but the DRE by itself cannot detect early cancer. It should be done in conjunction with a PSA test. Some health tips for you along the lines of what I did. Some of what I shall mention are everyday general health tips, which we should all be taking note of. And some are things that I use myself during, as I said, my cancer journey. Exercises, general stretching and road fitness, jogging, walking. When walking, aim for, though through a gradual build-up, for 10,000 steps, okay, per day, that is, yeah? Or 30 minutes of brisk walking each day. From a herbal shop perspective, and I saw yesterday a lady was talking with, I think from Ghana, and there was talk about herbal remedies. Well, I use alternative natural traditional medicines such as Nuni, Moringa, guinea hen weed. These aided my immune system to build up and make it stronger. These are the herbal and natural medicines that many of our parents talked about whilst growing up in the UK. I mean, I smile because I remember my father and mother talk about it. But I tell you something, they work. Take it from me. However, if you are taking traditional medicines, you need to make sure there is no interaction with any of the traditional medicines that I mentioned, or otherwise, as they have an adverse effect on you, which I found out to my detriment. It's advised that your sugar intake be reduced, as cancer thrives on sugar, along with the reduction on eating red meat. I wonder if Dawn could just put up the slide, please, with reference to the places, links that people could actually get that information from. While she's doing that, I'll just continue. As I come towards the end of my talk, I mentioned earlier that I had to reinvent myself, as I could no longer continue the career that I'd built over 30 years, as physically my body would not allow it. This reinvention took the form of me becoming an accomplished author, which I shall now send out to, hopefully, to everybody. I think that's gone out. Yep. If it hasn't, somebody could probably tell me if you've got a message, which just tells you where the books are.
The team will do that for you later.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much indeed. This reinvention took the form of becoming, as I said, accomplished author, penning 2 books, namely Invincibility in the Face of Prostate Cancer, Coming Out the Other Side, and Motivated to Inspire, both written with the intention to inspire, motivate, uplift, and educate people about prostate cancer and make them realize the value of the information I had recorded and help them along the journey path should they befall the disease. My story not only informs, but also gives hope. Equally, I became a patient advocate, speaking motivationally and working with varying cancer charities. I have broadened my horizon, and I'm working also with pharmaceutical companies on how to improve diversity in clinical trials in order to keep us as a community to be able to have access to the new and innovative treatments that are being developed. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my story. My prostate cancer was caught late. It does not have to be like that, as if caught early, prostate cancer is curable, as the treatment options available at an earlier stage are more. The courage it takes me to get out of bed every morning to face the same things over and over is enormous. However, I refuse to be seen as a victim for sharing my story. I am a survivor revealing the truth about my journey. You never know who needs to be given inspiration or motivation. I thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for that, Alfred. Thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your experience, and the book you've now written to help others. Just one question I want to ask you is that you stated that at the age of 40, men are eligible for the PSA test. How often do you think that men should be getting checked? And from what age?
Well, there is talk. Originally, there was this talk of 50 years, 55 years. That has changed now to 45 and 40 years. 45 years apparently refers to Caucasian men. 40 years pertains to Black men. So basically, after the age of 40, you need to start thinking about keeping checks on your prostate. And as I said earlier about hereditary, you need to bear these things in mind. My mother had breast cancer. She died in 1983. 6 months later, her sister died of cancer. 5 years later, their brother died of prostate cancer. So I saw one side of my family wiped out. Yet, come age 50, I remembered, but as I said, I was so busy making a living, I forgot to live. I forgot to take care of me, number one. And so with that, that's how best I would answer the question.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
furnishings. Fashion and furnishings.
BU Designs. Fashion and furnishings.
Fashion and furnishings.
BU Designs.